In other news, who is a big hit with Japanese women?
Japanese men.
No, actually, surprisingly.
Is it the gorilla that's really fit?
There's a gorilla. Yes, it is. There's a fit gorilla. There's a gorilla who moved from Australia to Japan in 2007 and has attracted a lot of admirers among young Japanese women who describe him as too handsome. He's referred to as an ikemen, which is slang for handsome guy. I've got a slightly creepy story, but let's see, his name's Shabani. I mean, all you need is like a slogan that goes, "Which one of us is really in a cage?" You know, this is another one of them looking, you know. I mean, this is a good-looking gorilla, you know. I dare you to swipe left, write that underneath, and then you're... There's another one of them here, look.
He's got some junk in his trunk, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's not necessarily sexually attractive, but it would be nice to be held by him.
Like, if I had to have sex with an animal, I'd have a flamingo. I'm a leg man.
Yeah. You particularly like when one leg is like up underneath the...
Yeah, it's a bit saucy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
oh,
come and see what my other leg is.
Put one leg up.
I know where your leg is, don't you worry about that. Marshy.
Yeah.
Wet.
You ain't got one leg, you slag.
Can I just say we're totally objectifying this gorilla, and I'm loving it.
It's like he's about to go, yes, Sigourney Weaver was wonderful to work with, yeah.
Part of my craft is I'm the weaver of stories, I'm the teller of tales. And points go to Rob, Tiff and Andy! OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough have found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, dinner round. Points go to Ron, Issue and Miles. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Oh, is this the live-action remake of the Pixar film Up?
Is Trump saying, of all the Kims I've met this week, you're in the top 2 sexiest?
Is Donald Trump saying, I've always been a very big fan of yours, Mr. McIntyre?
Wait. Is it the finalists from the world's worst hair competition meet up?
Is Trump saying, don't look now, but he's got a telephone on his head?
Don't think much of this remake of Rush Hour.
Is this the people who are down to the last 2 to present Saturday Night Takeaway?
Is he having a little fart there? Look, his little back flaps up.
How long have you been working in men's tailoring?
Is that not what that's for?
It's not. I'm not sure that's exactly what it's for, but it's certainly never referred to as... And we've also included a little back flap.
Or is Trump saying, it's good to see the American flag next to the flag for Pret-a-Manger?
Does anyone have the actual answer?
This is the summit between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump in Singapore.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Yes. This is a picture of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and US President Donald Trump. This week, the two signed an agreement to move towards the denuclearization of North Korea. How did the summit go, then? Are we writing the first draft of history here? Was it a success, or are we all going... Did that just happen? What was that?
It seemed to go well, but you can't really tell. Trump did no preparation, apparently, for it at all. And his excuse for doing that was that he didn't need to, because he said, I rely on my touch, my feel, that's what I do. And that is why 24 women are accusing him of sexual assault.
North Korea said that they would destroy a missile site, but they didn't specify that it would be a North Korean missile site.
We shall denuclearise by using up all our nuclear bombs on South Korea.
A plan which is literally soul destroyer.
Yes.
You also don't need to know.
Thank you! I'll take that. I'll take it.
Trump said the past does not have to define our future, which, to me, proves that he has read Gareth Southgate's England team talk.
How did he arrive, by the way? Did he arrive in a great pomp?
In a big house with balloons attached to them.
Yeah.
He arrived in a sort of a motorcade, didn't he, with lots of...
He always travels in the motorcade with people running alongside.
It looked like they've just push-started it.
Is he going to win a Nobel Prize for this? I'm sorry, just put that... Is he going to win the Nobel Prize for this?
Which one?
Trump, presumably.
He's certainly not going to win it for physics or literature.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end. And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
OK. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug, rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
Just trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the sexist supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Hugh and Milton.
And it's nationality. Who wants to go with us? Cadbury.
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk.
They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness?
And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge, If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Catherine. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with, Milton. Let's spin the wheel. Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. If you've got a sat-nav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. Driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs.
Thank you very much, Milton. OK, in that round, close Irreverent. Go on, Topical.
Now we play a round called Don't Go Bacon My Heart. This game involves Gary and James, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers will step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is leadership.
Leadership looks fun, but it's stressful. Just look at anyone leading a conga. On the outside, it looks brilliant, having a great time all the time, just... Yes, you bloody are. Yes, you bloody are, mate. In their heads, just going, I don't know where I'm going. I didn't plan a route. I never asked for any of this. God, I miss my family. Everyone's trapped in the conga. You think you can leave? You can't leave. Person at the back, maybe, they can let go, make a run for it. Everyone else, you let go. You're not out the conga. Now, you're the leader of a rival conga. Now you've got turf wars to worry about. Worst case scenario, you're second from the back, you let go. The one person behind you loves congas, isn't giving up for anyone. You're trying to mingle at the party with a maniac on your hips. Can have a serious discussion about the Lib Dem conference and still going hell for leather. You'd have to go swimming just to get rid of them. Never going to lead a conga. Never going to lead a Three Cheers either. I don't know who these lunatics are. I don't know where you acquire that level of confidence. Just get up in a room full of people. 3 cheers for Jackie! Hip, hip! What if everyone goes, no? Not 3 cheers for Jackie, she's an unpleasant person. How about no cheers for Jackie? Hip, hip, shut up.
Here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a religious program.
Mary, shag, avoid, Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Does Jesus save? Let's check the VAR.
If you'd like to make a donation, please use the church's own online payment system, PayPal.
And Jesus was born in a manger, surrounded by sandwiches and cappuccinos, for this was a Pret a Manger.
Can we all stop calling Andrew Scott the sexy priest from Fleabag? Every priest is sexy when you've had enough altar wine.
So, if you want to hire an outfit for a marriage in a mosque, come here. Mosque Bros.
Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Stargazing Live, where Dara O'Brien and Brian Cox will fill your head with heathen lies.
And there's the priest wearing a special new dog collar for the event. Welcome to Fetish Week on Songs of Praise.
Welcome to the show in which a man wearing a turban will help you when you can't get through the chain barriers. This is Seek Assistance.
In Judaism, there is no hell, just a Labour Party conference.
Well, due to a typo on the programme this morning, we have a bishop, an imam, and representing the Jewish community, the Chief Rabbit.
Thank you for watching Songs of Praise, and remember, when you go to heaven, I'm sure it'll be fine when God says, but you didn't go to church, and you said, no, but I did watch it on the telly.
And then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, which I can only assume had something to do with the homosexuals.
And Jesus fed the gathering with the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, apart from the vegan with the wheat allergy who had to bring his own stuff.
This is St. Paul's Cathedral, which, because of a no-deal Brexit, is now a Wetherspoons.
And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And then he created Eve, but he didn't fancy her, so he switched off his light, because no likey, no lighty.
The first subject is holidays. Who wants to come in on that? Josh.
Not very good holidays, as it turns out. I bought a tent to go camping recently. I don't know if I've not done this before. I bought a 2-room tent. And then you get it home, and it turns out the 2 rooms they give you from your house are the bedroom and the porch. I'll show you, if I was going to take 2 rooms from my house on holiday with me, very low on the list would be the porch. I would choose the bedroom and the bathroom. So not camping. Never have I woken up at 4 a.m. and thought, I need to get to a porch. If I don't get to a porch, there is going to be an accident. If there was no porch on your tent, you wouldn't have an issue. You wouldn't get your tent out and go, oh, my God, no porch. Or where am I going to put my hat stand? I've got yellow pages and 84 pieces of junk mail. I need a porch on these things. I never went on good holidays when I was a child. My dad was one of those people that was afraid of flying. He'd go, it's not natural, is it? Because if we were going to fly, we'd have wings. It's for birds, it's not for humans. But that's a terrible argument, isn't it? Because that's what technology is for. Helping you do things you couldn't do otherwise. If you give him a bottle of wine, he doesn't go, well, I'm not opening that because I don't have a curly finger.
Thank you very much, Josh. Well done. OK, let's have the next subject, please. The next subject is communication. Who wants to come in on that? Chris.
Hello. Communication now, these days, it's the more technologically advanced a form of communication, the more pointless and useless the subject matter is. For example, things like Twitter. You would never... It's not real communication. You would never tweet someone to inform them of a death in the family. It'd be slightly, you know what I mean, a bit harsh. Dad's dead, #fail. At the same time, you wouldn't show up at someone's house unannounced in person to tell them you just had a nice sandwich. All right, mate, it's 11 at night. What's up? Just had a blinded toasty. I'll see you at work. What? The most pointless form of communication these days is it has to be YouTube comments. Wow. Just take a couple of hours out of your life, sit down and have a look through some YouTube comments. It's like scrolling through the mind of a psychopath. It's incredible, and I've got a game you can have to send them loopy, right? Go on to YouTube, find a video. It has to be unremarkable. It can't be anything amazing. It can't be a near-death experience. It has to be banal, boring and mundane, like a video of a cat yawning. You're laughing, there's loads of them on there. People are insane, right? Video of a cat yawning, go on, underneath, sign in to YouTube, comment one word. Fake. People lose their minds. How can it be fake? Cat yawn! Cat yawn! She was tired!
Thank you very, very much, sir. So that'll leave us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The subject is family.
All my family are black and white. I phoned my dad the other day. He said, you left the room before I finished speaking. I wanted you to go to Holland and Barrett and get me some tablets. Where are you now? I said, Holland. I always left the room before my dad finished speaking. I remember once he said, why don't you go outside and jump up and down on the trampoline? Except I didn't hear the Aline. My grandfather, he eventually achieved his lifelong ambition to be a lion whisperer. Just before he died. Hashtag fail. My mother, she's got to the stage now where all she does is go on about who's just died.
Do you remember Muriel? She's just died. Do you remember Arthur? He's just died.
I said, Mum, get off the roof and give me the gun.
Thank you very much. Well done. Point in that round. Go to Milton Jones. Come on back.
Unlikely lines from a horror film.
I know what you did last summer because you keep posting all your boring shit on Facebook.
Gee, I'd rather you not say zombie. The term now is differently alive.
I have a message from the other side. We have Bake Off now.
The ghost is trying to say something to us. Old Kent Road. Community chest. Go to... Sorry, I didn't have time to get a Ouija board.
Oh, my God! Everybody, run! Oh, no, it's just some fat prick with a Nerf gun.
I think you mean a broken Nerf gun. For example, this bit shouldn't do this.
It's alive! It's alive! Oh, no, sorry, it is dead. I really am an awful vet.
I'm afraid I have no choice but to kill you, because I've already chosen to shag and marry your two friends.
28 days later, a horrifying journey of a man going from Three Bridges to East Croydon with Southern.
I see dead people. Oh, no, my bad, it's Keith Richards.
Get back, you demons! You devils! Get away, Satan's spawn! Back from whence you came! That was the party political broadcast on behalf of the UK Independence Party.
Here's Johnny, and then I'm going to put it on my willy, and then we're going to have sexy.
Sir, there's been another attack by the undead in Wimbledon. No, not zombies this time. Zombles.
A seance? No. I've been pronouncing it seance.
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
Is it the 3 middle names of Princess Charlotte?
Is it what 3 things might a Greek keep in a chicken?
Is it what do gangsters play instead of rock, paper, scissors?
Is it what 3 things are keeping Keith Richards alive?
Is it what in the sound of music are the Von Trapp's family's real favourite things?
What are the 3 characters called on a packet of Colombian Rice Krispies?
Is it what 3
three things are we being paid in this evening?
All together in one big bucket.
Yeah.
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup?
Is it complete the song? Hugh Pew, Barney McGrew.
That scans. That probably scans very, very
It'd be a
well.
much better song, wouldn't it?
It would have been very good.
What are the 3 main aisles in a Bolivian Waitrose?
Does they know the correct answer?
You know that tattoo you got that you think says peace, love, and harmony? Is it to do with Greece?
It is to do with Greece.
What 3 things that they wore in Greece are about to run out of?
Ah, very good. Thank you very much, Ed Burr. That's excellent. Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms? This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the Omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Gregxit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a 3rd syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
I don't get this thing that you can... I didn't know that you could reject banks' demands. If I'd known that, my whole life would have been different. If I'd been able to go to the bank and go, well, I do owe you 10 grand, but I really like my lifestyle.
It could be, but it could be a mis-selling scandal, doesn't it? Because as far as I'm aware, Greece was never made to sign that box that said your home is at risk if you do not keep up the repayments.
You think they're waiting for the PPI?
Yeah, I think
the
they'll
400 quid of PPI. Yeah. That's the one thing that will bail them out of this.
Apparently the Greek government have admitted that living in their past is their Achilles heel.
No one was expecting that reaction.
No. Oxy, they went. Oxy to that. I think it's definitely a case that if they want to get bailed themselves out, like whatever, they really just have to invoke copyright law on all the stuff they invented some time ago now, right? But that they definitely invented, like democracy, triangles and gays. And if they...
Philosophy as well. The birthplace of philosophy, isn't it?
Or was it?
Yes. Oh, you
Who
know,
knows?
well...
Why do you think that there is a professional philosopher at home going, that's not what philosophy is? It's not just going, or is it?
I think there's a lot of opportunities in Greece, actually. I'm going to start a band called Cash Machine, because people will be queuing around the block. But we've been told if we go on holiday to Greece that we should take lots and lots of money with us.
Yes.
To rub it in?
I think it's to pay your kidnappers.
Yes, it's a picture of the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, and his defeated opponent in the leadership election, Owen Smith. At the Labour Party conference this week, Corbyn was unveiled as leader after being re-elected with nearly 62% of the vote. So he won it very easily, and he did very well, but at the same time, that may not translate into anything in terms of winning a general election.
No. I mean, it's not going to translate into having a cabinet either, is it? A shadow cabinet. He's going to have to do a shadow cabinet like, you know Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone with the shadows? It's going to be a literal shadow cabinet.
What is that? Mannequin for defence?
You've got to admire the Labour Party's ability to see the Conservatives in chaos and respond like this. You call that political disarray? Sit down, let the professionals show you. We'll see your chaos and raise your botched coup that involves our deputy leader having to be called home early from Glastonbury.
He's incredible in that he can gather so many people together in a rally and they sort of see him as a messiah in the same way he will probably be crucified in the next election.
But there's some statistic like that the largest political party in Europe or something at the moment, the largest amount of members. I mean, he rode in on a huge wave of success. It should translate across, and yet, and nobody's any attack on him, it feels like winning the technical challenge in Bake Off, you know, where you make some
stop angling for the job.
Just saying this scene is
Can I interject here? Has anybody on this stage won the technical challenge in Bake Off? Yes. Yes.
What did you have to make?
Lemon meringue pie, bitches!
Okay, two things. Firstly, you were doing great on I won the technical challenge on Bake Off until you said the words, a lemon meringue pie. When you know, that's just a cake. That's not a technical challenge. It's some 17th century.
Lemon meringue pie is not an easy technical bake. In fact, Paul Hollywood even said, he looked at me and said, I bet I'm going to cut right into that, and all the meringue's going to just pour out of it. Did it? Did it, buggery?
Okay, well, you killed my metaphor, which I was going to do a really nice thing.
I didn't mean to kill your metaphor. I just meant to point out that I am more qualified to wield it than you are. That's all.
I'll give you that. Tell us about your
This is actually turning into the Labour Party conference.
Tell us about your showstopper, Ed. How did that go? How did your showstopper go?
Didn't go well.
Didn't go well, did it?
Carrot cake, and it was raw in the middle.
And then you just threw icing at it like you were trying to smother it.
You're slagging, but I like the fact that you watched.
What did Corbyn say about the MPs who would...
Well, he said he'd wipe the slate clean, probably with their own faces, but he will have them back. There'll be no hard feelings.
He said most will not get deselected, which is not the most reassuring way of putting that. It's like if a doctor says, we can save most of you, still this hasn't gone well somehow, and I'm down a limb or two at the end of this particular interaction.
So you can't trust the Labour Party anyway. At the beginning of conference, they always sing the song, we'll keep the red flag flying. But if they get into power, that means no one can go swimming.
Is it 600,000 followers?
I think they're followers, aren't they? Necessarily. That's Christ you're thinking of.
Also, I think he's got
12
a
as well.
Yeah. Did you see the Book of Poetry?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it was lovely. It was very, very lovely. Yes. Labour supporters released a book of poems for Jeremy Corbyn that Michael Deegan from The Telegraph tweeted about.
Corbyn's not even a good word to rhyme with, unless most of the poems about Dorbin. Or get my J-Class, do some absorbing. They're your two options, really. If it was Jeremy Hunt, we'd all have a big laugh and it'd be fun. Let's deal with that now and move on.
The Corbyn sounds... But you can say you've got the green bin for glass, haven't you? You've got the black bin for plastic. You've got the Corbyn for recycled old ideas from the 1970s.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a survival show.
Not all of us survived last night's tropical fruit juice storm. 5 alive.
At last, I have found some nuts and some berries. I hate it when they rearrange the aisles at Asda.
We dropped Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson into a remote area of the Amazon rainforest with no supplies and no means of contacting the outside world. You're welcome.
There are many threats to the children of the Nabutu tribe. Crocodiles, snakes, Madonna.
Unfortunately, you do have to improvise some things. I've been using these leaves for wiping my bottom, which is why I've been thrown out of the salad bar.
And to make this wigwam, I just used 3 poles. Because, well, they're good workers and they're cheap.
It's a terrible moment when your fellow mountaineer turns to you and says he's got his arm stuck in a crevasse and you're going to have to cut it off. And then when he comes round, he says, no, not that one.
Everyone in this gorilla's family has a role. Unfortunately, I'm his love bitch.
If you're really lost, it's time to use your Duke of Edinburgh skills. Hopefully, you can offend the indigenous tribespeople enough that they'll chase you out of the forest.
So then I'm going to show you how to make a snare, just in case, God forbid, you ever have to improvise a jazz-style drum solo.
Perhaps the most rewarding thing about looking at the women of the Nabutu tribe is they have their tits out.
Yesterday, I punctured my inflatable, which is terrible. There isn't a sex shop for miles.
So I'm at home, and there's an 8-foot anaconda snake coming through the letterbox. I think it's some kind of Amazon mix-up.
Tonight on Bushcraft, the vajazzle.
OK, get that round before we go to Christian and Milton. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is growing up.
That's offensive. I think my parents always wanted me to be really, really grown up. Like, I remember years ago, my parents coming into my room, confiscating all my toys and saying, "You're too old for teddy bears." And I was so upset, I just stormed out the house and I just drove. I'm a proper grown-up now, though, and I can tell I'm a grown-up because of my pyjamas. Like, you can all tell you're grown-ups because of your pyjamas, because, like, when you're a kid, I'd wear pyjamas that had, like, immature things on, like Disney characters and stuff like that. But now I'm a grown-up, you know, I wear pyjamas that have got more mature characters on, like the Cast of Atonement. I mean, my 11-year-old cousin, we've both got Harry Styles pyjamas, but hers say One Direction and mine say Dunkirk. Obviously, slippers is the only exception to this. Slippers only ever have grown-up characters on because it's only grown-ups who wear slippers. No child in their right mind is wearing slippers, and if your child is wearing slippers, keep your creepy Jacob Rees-Mogg child away from me. When I was growing up, all I ever wanted to be was I wanted to be an astronaut. I thought I can be an astronaut. I've only got 2 weaknesses, being vague and another weakness. Well, no, I can be an astronaut, but the problem is, if you tell your teachers you want to be an astronaut, they say, no, you don't need to study that. You need to study Shakespeare. The only way you can become clever is if you study Shakespeare. That's not true. Shakespeare didn't study Shakespeare. He went on to become Shakespeare. Shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm just annoyed at myself because I didn't realise to be an astronaut you've got to be good at science, and I didn't listen during science, and now I don't remember any science. Like, I remember the basics. I know stuff like if you put a tooth in some milk, you will lose your job at Cravendale. But I get annoyed at what I do remember and what I don't remember, and I find it unfair. I find it unfair that for 7 years of my life I had to study physics every single week. I don't remember any physics. Yet in 2003, I saw half of Johnny English. I still remember the name Pascal Sauvage.
Thank you very much, Brad. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Gary, which category would you like?
Media, please, Dara.
OK, your category is media. The answer is 600 metres. What is the question?
Is it, if Kelvin Mackenzie was to do a bungee jump from a height of 500 metres, what length rope should he be given?
Is it, in fact, what head start would I need if I was competing against Usain Bolt in the 100 metres?
Is it simpler than that? Is it how big are some trees, Dara? No trees are simpler.
Is it how far is the Queen's bed from her ensuite bathroom?
How far away can Boris Johnson smell a custard cream?
Is it, in fact, how far can the Proclaimers walk now?
Is it at what distance is Theresa May attractive?
None of the rest of us could do that. But good to have you on board.
Is it when kicking Chris Brown in the bollocks, exactly how long a run-up should you take?
Is it proportionally, if a clown's nose was the size of Dara's head, how long would his shoes be?
Is it how long was the longest runner bean ever grown at the Fukushima nuclear plant?
Is it, in fact, how long would your penis be if all the products in the spam emails worked?
Is it what is the delivery radius of a relatively unambitious pizza company?
Sorry, we'll move towards the correct answer, please.
Is it, in fact, the distance that they were taking shots of Kate topless?
That is absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Andy. In other news, who has gobbled up Cadbury this week?
Kraft, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Kraft, whose only contribution to human progress so far is the invention of cheese that can also be used as a bookmark.
The guy who invented Kraft, I think, is like John Kraft or something. His original job, where the company built itself, he was a door-to-door cheese salesman.
Well, actually...
Here was someone from another era. Would you ever trust... Ding dong, would you like some cheese? No! There's a man walking door to door.
I could beat that. My mate, when he was younger, used to be a door-to-door karate salesman. Can he do karate? No, he can't.
That question there could have been answered so many... You could have asked that question any week. Who gobbled up Cadbury's this week? Obviously, this week it's Kraft. Most weeks it would be sad, lonely women at that sort of...
I'll tell you what, though...
Lonely, lonely.
And also... there is something...
I'm genuinely worried about dairy milk, though, because I don't know why it's my one source of milk.
So what's for dairy milk? Your bones would be nothing, you know?
On the news, they kept saying, they just kept saying that Cadbury's had been taken over by an American food giant. I was thinking, you're going to have to be more specific, because about half the population of America could technically be described as American food giant.
But truly, you could say that the Jolly Green Giant, he's one of yours, isn't he? He's British. You could say that he could defend...
He's British. He's fictional, Dara.
Oh, well, that's real. It's fictional British.
So he's green. What would make you think he wasn't one of yours?
It was more the smugness of him, to be honest. It was more the Green Giant. Fuck you, you prick.
What would be great if when Cadbury shuts down, if just a load of Oompa Loompas come out of the gate like that.
I was actually shown round the Cadbury's factory just south of
Did Willy Wonka take you?
And basically what happened was, you'd think when anybody who works in a chocolate factory probably wouldn't be that interested in the product because they're around it 24 hours a day. I was shown round by 4 of the largest ladies I've ever met. And their job was the milk tray would come on a conveyor belt and any imperfect ones that came along, they had to pick them up. And they'd literally go, that's not perfect. That's not perfect. Right? And the brilliant thing was, if it wasn't like, if everything was perfect for about 5 minutes, they'd just stick their finger in one and go, not perfect.
Can anyone worry about British institutions becoming foreign when the royal family have been German since 1700?
There's a guy called Ray Egan. Ray Egan is a retired policeman who stands outside British companies when they're about to be bought in order to protest it, actually, and stands like that, dresses up as John Bull, Kraft. What I love about it is the fact he goes, hey, hey, not just Kraft go to hell, but hey, so Kraft return, yeah? Go to hell.
There was this big thing with all the phone debates when people were phoning up complaining, and it was beautiful moments of radio. I don't know if anyone heard it, but there was a woman on the phone saying, it's terrible what they've done, it's terrible that we're allowing them to sell a British institution like Cadbury's. And the radio presenter, it was Jeremy Vine, he actually said, well, are you going to join the calls for a boycott of Cadbury's chocolate? She went, oh, I won't go that far.
My sister bought me a box of 48 bars, the standard size bars of dairy milk, for Christmas, and I think she thought it would be like one a day and it would last for ages, and I just opened it with a kitchen knife. I did think about putting them all out on the bed and, like, writhing around naked, like an indecent proposal.
Don't do that. Never mix sex and chocolate. Women tend to look like morph.
OK, getting that round the point there with John and Andy. Deleted lines from a fantasy film.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the heir to Isildur and part of the Fellowship of the Ring. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ron had been suffering from swine flu and people were avoiding him. Luckily, he was ginger and he was used to it.
I don't know why you're so upset, Harry. The original Dumbledore died 3 films ago and no one gave a shit.
Did you find Narnia in the wardrobe? No, Edmund. We found your porn stash.
My friends, we will never hear the word Mordor again. Taggart has been cancelled.
No, Harry, it's not a 5-headed dog. It's girls allowed. Me.
I am Aslan, formed by the merger of Asda and Matalan.
We had only been there for a day, but to us it felt like 15 years. That's Birmingham.
Did you honestly think I could be defeated by someone younger? I am Arlene Phillips!
Welcome to Mordor, twinned with Swansea.
This will never work, Frodo.
In the wardrobe, we found a magical compartment that led to the Fritzl family.
He stole it from me, my precious! Oh, no, it's in my pocket.
You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
I'm not a dwarf, I'm a lesbian.
And somebody uses music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. For Nando's.
Like a school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
OK, the topic is health. Where you go?
I'm a lot sportier than I might look. In fact, I picked up a little niggle at the gym the other day. I mean, he pronounces it Nigel. I had a very stressful journey getting here today. All the way, this lorry driver was right up my arse. But it was nice of him to give me a lift. I spent most of the afternoon hanging out at the swimming baths. And then somebody told me and I tucked it back in again. I put on a lot of weight recently, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency. Can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can. We got loads of those.
Now we play a round called You've Got to Be Corbinit to Win It. This game involves Nathan Caton and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nate.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Are you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Clinging on, let it go, woman. She's going to slap the black off me when she sees this. So, yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment, mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she's found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is, like, right next door. So, like, every time they do it, I hear everything. Like, a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night. I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, Nathan Caton. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently. Anyway, I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce. And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
Well done. Dinner and quite good. Ed Gamble! Come on back. Things you wouldn't hear on a news programme.
Scientists say it could save the corporation millions, but the question still remains, can the robot be taught to press the buzzer?
And I've taken a photo of the suspect on a Polaroid camera as he left court. More on this story as it develops.
Now, in a video which some viewers may find disturbing, Jacob Rees-Mogg attempts small talk with a woman.
Now, British media have not mentioned the word Brexit in more than... Ah, Christ!
We should be expecting some westerly winds and some rain coming down from the north, and I'm really enjoying stroking this horse.
Well, I'm not sure he's in the right job. The diplomatic correspondent has just told me to fuck off.
I'm here in war-torn Syria, and my producer really must hate me, because I'm the weatherman.
England has won the World Cup!
Iceland, the country, have now sued Iceland, the supermarket, and had all its assets frozen. Thank you.
And now the news where you are, there's a bear behind you.
So let's find out what's happening in your area, which can't be all that important, otherwise it would have made the main show.
The poverty here is appalling, which is why I'm moving to ITV.
And now it's time for the weather. Carol, is it going to get any better, or do we have to put up with another week of your absolute bullshit?
Damn right this is fake news. I'm not even a news reporter. I'm your wife, stood in your living room, holding a picture frame in front of my face and making up facts about ISIS.
It's 6 o'clock, and you know what that means? It's time for frickin' news! Give me all the stories, frickin' sexy news, boy, sexy sex with me, Hugh Edwards.
News correspondents having sex with young comedians. Is it right? We cross now to Nick Robinson, who's inside Whitehall.
Now we play a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nathan, which category would you like?
Health, please.
OK, your category is health, and the answer is 8. What is the question?
Is it when talking to Barack Obama, how many black friends does David Cameron claim to have?
Is it what might bras look like if breasts were arranged vertically?
So, according to figures given to the tax office, how many coffees has Starbucks ever sold?
Is it after what hour are you legally permitted to consume square mint chocolates?
Is it how many times has Julian Assange watched the complete DVD collection at the Ecuadorian embassy?
Is it, in fact, how many Father's Day cards did Boris Johnson get?
Is it how many episodes of Top of the Pops from the 1970s are safe to repeat?
Is it how many thousand people are looking at this thinking, why is Lamar doing comedy?
Including Lamar.
Is it, in fact, how many days should this year's winner of The Voice reserve for their career?
It's about the NHS.
Is it, in
Go for
fact,
speak.
how many commandments are there now for patient care?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. That is it. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many care commandments are being proposed for hospitals to help improve standards for patients. This is the news that the Care Quality Commission proposes that doctors and nurses should be issued with 8 fundamentals of care to ensure that patients are treated well. The charter, to be displayed in every ward and GP surgery across the country, is one of a number of proposals to improve standards of health care. Now, obviously, traditionally there are 10 commandments, but they felt unnecessary to include the one about the donkey.
Is there one about the donkey?
What's
about a donkey? It's an oxen, isn't it?
Welcome to Mock the Week 458 BC.
Thou shalt not cover thy neighbour's drip.
Thou shalt have a right to wear a gown that doesn't show your bum. Food that can be cut with a knife.
They're so desperate for money. My nan was in hospital recently and they had to kick her off her trolley because they were taking it back to Asda for the pound.
I've heard your nan's off her trolley anyway.
I can't offend any more family today.
Unlikely things to read on a packet.
Ragu sauce. If you gave this to someone who is actually from Italy, they'd punch you in the face.
To open, push down tab, break tab, swear repeatedly, stab with a pair of scissors!
Serves 4, you greedy bastard. Now put some of that back.
Viagra are proud sponsors of Andy Murray, for people who can only ever achieve a semi.
Bag may also be used for autoerotic asphyxiation.
Fair trade coffee. If you don't like it, you're racist.
Sunny Delight counts towards your 5 a day as -2.
To stop diarrhoea, take 1 teaspoon and shove it up your arse.
Adults and children over 12 years. Try not to get those two mixed up.
Cup of soup. Just add soup.
Best before date, Rohypnol.
Serving suggestion. On a plate, you thick moron.
We use only the very cheapest horse meat to make fuck it, it's just a cat.
The end of that round, of course, go to Frankie, Hugh and Tom. Lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
Next up, on Channel 5, a woman has a painful wrist in RSI Miami.
Of course I dusted for Prince. I'm his cleaner, and he prefers to be known as the artist formerly known as Prince.
How did I recognise him from just his genitalia? Well, it was the red and blue paisley pyjamas around the outside.
For dental tinkellepel, den plinken planken, le controlla le contivel, el vulge knaval, utebel contal. Do you not speak Danish?
This week, Rosemary and Thyme are joined by 2 Indian detectives. Turmeric and chili.
You're going to arrest me for making lewd and childish innuendos? I hope you don't expect me to come quietly.
This week, there's panic in Midsummer as they meet their first black man.
Oh, you said it was a whodunit. Yeah, we arrested Hugh Dennis.
I think I have solved it, Watson. No shit, Sherlock.
There has been a heinous crime committed on the Orient Express. Somebody has done a shit while the train was still in a station.
Leave me alone, Watson. I'm going to go back into my mind palace and have the wank of a lifetime.
Yeah. The murderer has cut out the victim's tongue. Let's get that back to the lab. I've got some envelopes need licking.
Now, Constable, the fact that you've had to redo the chalk outline 17 times should surely be an indication that the victim is still alive.
I shoot my gun like I shoot my load into my hand.
You're under arrest. You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say means you'll be an actor rather than an extra and you get paid a bit more.
So you say that at the time of the murder, you were hosting Daybreak on ITV. So there's no witnesses to corroborate.
Hello, we're the fashion police. Let's see the body. Oh, blue with green. He deserves to die.
Now we play a round called Trumpty Dumpty Sat in the Wall. This game involves Angela and Hal. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. This first subject is growing old. Who wants to come in on that? Angela.
I recently turned 40, and I want to reassure anyone younger, turning 40 is really easy. My friend turned 40 recently. She made a bucket list, right? She said to me, you're going to make a bucket list. And I said, do you know what I hear when I hear bucket list? I hear admin. That's what I hear. They're always so ambitious, aren't they? It's like, oh, I want to go to the Taj Mahal, I want to swim with dolphins. The only thing I could think of that I genuinely would want to put on my bucket list is that one day, I'd like to put half a packet of biscuits back in a cupboard. But getting old, growing old in this country looks scary. It's looking scarier and scarier. You know, by the time I get to old age, there won't be care homes anymore, will there? It'll just be an OAP rescue centre. So be like Battersea Dog Zone. This idealistic young couple will come in, they'll get shown around. This is Maud, she likes knitting, gardening, casual racism. Why don't you take her home? That's what it'll be. So we have to worry about these things. We do, because we're all living longer, aren't we? There's so many 100-year-olds in this country now, the Queen's had to get a Moonpig account to keep up. This is my plan for old age. If I get there, right, if I get to my 80s, I am going to spend every single day doing Class A hardcore drugs. Why wouldn't you? Right, you don't have to get up in the morning, do you? Right? You'll never have trouble finding a vein. I'll tell you something, you might not be able to afford to heat your bungalow, but I bet you can afford to heat a teaspoon, then you won't give a shit how cold you are. No-brainer, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Angela. So that leaves us with Hal. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is nationality.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm English, obviously, which is rubbish, isn't it? No, it is. No one likes us. If you, I follow England at rugby, at football. Everywhere we go, we get booed. Everybody else boozes. My wife, Northern Irish, boozed me in bed. It's absolutely... Boo! You're rubbish! Get off! You English are crap! It's not all English people, it's just me. I was actually doing a gig in Scotland a couple of years ago in Glasgow, and I said to a roomful of Scottish people, is it true, whenever we play football, you support the opposition? And they all went, yeah, we do. I said, you know what? We do the same to you, we just never know when you're playing. But I happen to think that sort of anti-English thing, and with Brexit, means the UK is finished. Eventually, in my lifetime, the UK is going to break up. I think. I said I was a passionate Remainer when it came to Brexit, or Ramona, or my favourite one, a sneering member of the metropolitan middle-class liberal elite. I love being called that. I love being called elite. It makes me sound like we're like super troops, you know, that go around the area in a van, keeping it bourgeois. We all screech to a halt, we jump out, we take up our favourite yoga position immediately. That cafe's no longer serving decaf soya lattes! Destroy it! Say that word, quinoa. It's quinoa, you bastard!
Thank you very much. Well done, Hal Crittenden. I can't slide. Points to both of you. Come on back. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel for the first topic. The first subject is transport. Who wants to come in that? Miles.
Yes, transport, public transport. Why is public transport so horrendous? Well, the clue is in the question, isn't it? It's the public. You're horrific. I don't take public transport terribly often, but sometimes I do it for a dare. Some friends and I once had a competition to see who could stay for the longest on a night bus without vomiting. Although, once I got on the bus, it was quite clear that all the other passengers were involved in a similar competition. None of them were doing terribly well. My seat had a sign next to it saying, "This seat is particularly appreciated by the elderly and infirm." Yeah, certainly smelt like it. Now, what a journey. Every time somebody pressed the stop button, it pinged. The oik sitting next to me stood up because he thought his McCain's microwavable chips were in. Brutal. Anyway, while I've been speaking, I imagine a lot of the ladies in here have been looking at me. Possibly, you know, you're thinking, is he or isn't he? Well, I've got to be honest with you, ladies, I am looking for a cleaner.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is marriage. Who wants to come in on that? Stuart.
I'm not married. If I was married, would I be able to do this? For that long? I am married. My wife and I met at a castanet class where we clicked. That's not entirely funny. No, we actually met in a museum, and the rest is history. 14 more. No, we actually met at a driving range where we hit it off. Can't be true. No, we actually met in a library. That's novel. Ooh. No, actually, Wayne Rooney introduced us. It was a no-brainer. I'm only kidding. I'm not married. I am married. That's why I'm wearing the ring. Oh, no. It must have fallen off in that hooker. Anybody who's married knows what I'm talking about when I say this, that you really find out about someone after you marry them. Like, for example, my wife doesn't have a peanut allergy. No, it turns out she has a penis. That's it, she has a penis.
OK, that leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is parenting.
A few years ago, my wife and I had a baby. Well, we didn't have it straight away. We had to cook it up for a little while. And so she suggested we go to these classes run by the National Childbirth Trust in our local area. They're very middle-class antenatal classes. They're run by this fascist breastfeeding woman. It's basically, you can go to her home on a Tuesday night, she's breastfeeding her 9-year-old son during the session. It's not awkward, all the men are checking the coving out. It's come away up there because they should have put glue both sides. That's... No, she's still doing it. What are you going to do? And, I think by week 4, she's running out of ideas, so she started on the men. She said, I'm going to ask the men this evening, the men are coming on board. How might they benefit by giving birth to the baby themselves? Can we talk about those benefits? Now, there's 6 of us in a circle. I'm in trap 3, not the best position, the worst one either. Chap number 1's in the best position. He said, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have an empathy with womankind and her struggle over the centuries, creating a greater relationship with your partner. I was thinking, oh, cobblers, I was going to use that one. Chap number 2 dug in, fair enough. He said, well, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have a bond with the child at a more primeval, physical level. Started crying. Nice touch. Mother Earth looked at me, I'm having a panic attack. It's all gone a bit hazy. She said, Michael? I said, well, at least you'll be 100% sure it was yours.
OK, the end of that round. Four's going to make it sound again. This is a stand-up challenge based on this news wheel dotted with topical subjects and faces. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it has landed on. If I judge that the person has got a big enough laugh, he or she is safe and gets to sit down again. The first team to have all its players sitting down at the desk wins the round. So here goes. Let's spin the wheel. Well, Michael Howard, the Tory party leadership. Who wants to get in on that? Like a shot.
Hello. It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. At the election, I announced my timetable for action, and here it is. I'm going.
Very good. Rory, Brendan, sit down. To be honest, you could have sat down after you did the face. So let's spin the wheel again. OK, education. Who wants to go for that? Frankie's up.
The government's new education policy, apparently, is to make children stay at school till they're 18. It's just not living in the modern world, is it? 17-year-olds having to go to school. Who's going to pick their kids up from primary? The Catholic Church have got a big thing this week. They say they don't want sex education in schools because that's like giving the kids pornography, as opposed to the traditional Catholic method of educating them, of actually shagging them. Come on. Sex education at my school was a muttered warning about the janitor.
That's perfect. Frankie, sit down. Well done, you courier. Covered yourself in glory there. Let's have another look at the next story. OK, ASBOs. Who wants to go in on ASBOs? It's Linda.
Yeah, I think people are a bit down on ASBOs, but you've got to remember, these are the only qualifications that some kids are going to get.
Linda, sit down. Well done. What's our next topic? OK, ID cards. Who wants to come in on that? Jeremy.
Well, these are interesting because the defenders of ID cards say, well, we already have to carry lots of ID. You need to establish your identity in order to establish your entitlement to enter certain leisure centres or to claim benefit or to establish your entitlement to enter certain buildings. But this new card will establish your entitlement to go outside. And people say, well, they were a good idea because we had them in the Second World War. But in the Second World War, it was just a piece of cardboard that said, this is Mr. Wilkins, he's not a German spy. This will be this digitised, magnetised thing that says, this is Mr. Wilkins. He may not be a German spy, but he's got a genetic heart defect. His sister's against GM crops, and he took a video late back to Blockbuster in 1997.
Jeremy, please sit down. So, it's a tie-break situation. I'm going to spin the wheel one more time. I want the two remaining players, that's Hugh and John, to give me something on that one topic. You both get a go of it, and the audience essentially decides. So, let's spin the wheel. OK, the nation's health.
Apparently, it's very important to stay healthy to have 5 portions of fruit a day. I do that. I have half a packet of Starburst. The Tories are very big on MRSA, which I found a bit surprising. I reckon most of them thought it was the way a posh man would pronounce the lead singer of the Smiths.
Just stand there, Hugh, because John is going to try to top that now.
There is absolutely no need to worry about Britain's health because, as we've all learnt, Jamie Oliver is going to save us all. And if Jamie Oliver has only taught me one thing, and he has, it's this, that an unhealthy lifestyle is like a homing pigeon. Yes, it's a lot of fun at the time, but one day it will track you down and it will kill you.
Very good. I'm going to give it to John, so John and his team are the winners. OK, the topic is work.
I nearly lost my job as a roofer when I was caught masturbating on the first day. Yeah, luckily, my boss said I could wipe the slate clean. I used to work at Waterstones. One day, a guy came in asking if we had any audiobooks with subtitles. I thought, hang on, that's a book. The circus near me held a competition to find the best contortionist, so I entered myself and won. In my old job, I just used to punch buttons all day, and that's why I'm no longer allowed to work in panto. I've got 2 lawyers working for me at the minute. One's pro bono, and the other thinks he's a right pretentious twat. When my granddad was caught trying to stow away in the Merchant Navy, he offered to work his passage, which, as you can imagine, made him very popular. I hate people who phone me up just to complain about the weather, which is why I lost my job at Mountain Rescue. I was at a station the other day that had a piano on the platform, so I had a little tinkle on it, which saved me 30 pence. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. I bought a Microsoft Advent calendar. If you open too many windows at once, they all shut again for no bloody reason. Thank you.
Well done. Very good. Adding points for both of you. Well done. Come on, sit back in. And the first subject is identity. Who wants to come in with that? Josh.
I had to sign for a parcel recently. That's got a lot more difficult, hasn't it? Yeah, it used to be simple, didn't it, when you get a pen and a piece of card. Now you're given this kind of digital screen and plastic stick. And all you can do is some kind of zigzag up and down line. That bears no relation to any signature that has ever existed ever. Is that your signature? No. It's like the mark of Zorro. Is anyone checking this at the post office going, I've got bad news? Zorro is back. And he's signing for every parcel in the United Kingdom. I struggle filling in these forms. I filled in the census last year. My favourite question was on the final page. This question said, please fill in the details of anyone that doesn't live with you but stayed over on the night of March the 23rd. That's going to be very awkward if you've just had a one-night stand, isn't it? Just good morning, a few questions. What is your occupation? Well, I don't know. Well, I'm telling the government, actually, yeah. It's not the kind of thing you just drop in, just go, morning, do you take sugar in your tea? Also, would you describe yourself as Caucasian?
Thank you very much. That's wonderful. OK, let's see what the next subject is. And it's nationality. Who wants to give me that?
Hello. I'm of mixed heritage, actually. I talk like a Canadian, but I tolerate my partner's drinking like an Irish girl. I travel a lot, from London to Ireland, and anyone who's flown Heathrow to Cork knows that on your way to the plane, they have signs reminding you how many chances you've got left to get drunk.
They're like 6 licensed shops, 2 shops, 1 shop. It's like, what? Before I board an aircraft filled with wine to get to the land of Guinness?
And the final shop is right at the gate. And in that shop, there's a sign that says, no ID, no sale. And I'm like, this is an international airport. How about no ID? How'd you get on the plane? It is in the boarding lounge, If a terrorist manages to sneak through levels of security at the world's busiest international airport, give him a pint.
Thank you very much, Catherine Ryan. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with, Milton. Let's spin the wheel. Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. If you've got a sat-nav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. Driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs.
Thank you very much, Milton. OK, close Irreverent. Come on, Topical. First subject is climate change. Use it like a shot.
The problem with climate is that we're ruining the environment. You know, every year we destroy an area of rainforest the size of Belgium. Why not just destroy Belgium? No one would mind. We're desperate to find an alternative to oil. Wind is one, but what worries me about wind power is that if you cover Britain with 400,000 wind turbines, right, on a windy day, what's to stop the whole country taking off? like an enormous hovercraft and heading for France. That is European unification by the back door.
Very good, Hugh. Hugh, sit down. Congratulations. Very good. So, let's have another topic. Live 8. Rory's coming in like a shot.
This is Live 8 this week. Bob Geldof's big thing was to persuade people to go to Edinburgh by boat. Right. OK, because the first 20 miles are easy. The rest you're going to carry the boat on your shoulders. They're trying to get a million people up to Edinburgh. Elton John's not going. He's sending flowers. And it's a whole G8 Live 8 thing where the world's richest 8 nations get to meet the world's 8 richest rock stars.
Rory, well done. Sit down. Let's have another topic. OK, reality TV. Who wants to get in?
Me.
Oh, hang on.
Just a second, though. 12 calories. Well, you probably realise that the 487th series of Big Brother has just started. Problem to me with Big Brother is that when someone gets voted out of the house, they don't actually have a sniper up in a tree with one bullet, just to see how they do. Now, I actually applied for Celebrity Love Island, but...
Joe, you can sit down now if you want to. That's it. Travel. Who wants to come in that?
I'll do it.
Chris has.
The most dangerous roads in the whole of the world are British motorways. That is my sincere belief. Not because of the speed, because you can't get up speed on the British motorway because you're stuck behind a dick in a caravan. Do you know, I found this out. 1 in 5 families in this country goes caravanning. Why? What makes a family who don't get on in a normal-sized house believe that squeezing themselves into a tin for a fortnight is going to improve matters? It's such a self-deluding activity, which for me is symbolised by that. You know that 5-foot-long wing mirror, the attachable wing mirror the dad puts on the car? Well, I have to see what's behind me. It's of paramount importance that at all moments I can see what is behind me. Oh, for goodness sake, just paste a picture of a traffic jam on there, because that's what's behind you. You don't need to look to see what's behind you. It's there because you are. So the government, they're boring, right? The motorways are boring, and the government puts up those signs to stop us falling asleep, saying, TARDIS can kill, take a break. But the thing is, we're not surprised by those signs anymore, so they don't really work. I think they have to keep changing them. I think they should change those signs to keep us on our toes. Change them to ones that say, déjà vu can kill, take a break, and then one exactly the same, half a mile.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. Our next topic is politics. Who wants to come in on that? Any persons?
So, we have a Liberal-Conservative coalition. It makes no sense, does it? 2 words that mean completely opposite things. It would be like having the Whig-Baldy coalition or having voted for the no-swearing arse party. We have a new Foreign Secretary, William Hague. I don't think he's going to be taken seriously, is he? Every time he goes to Afghanistan, they're just going to think, oh, it's Ross Kemp on another undercover show. I mean, at the moment, you know, we'll never know, will we? Exactly how much Bigotgate affected the election result. Why didn't Gordon Brown just answer Gillian Duffy's question? All she said was, those Eastern Europeans, where are they coming from? Now, even I could have answered that question.
Thank you very much, Alan Parsons. OK, that leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is food. Oh, here you go.
Now, this is one of my favourite topics because I actually hate restaurants. And my wife loves restaurants. She's middle class. She's been skiing and everything. And she loves a restaurant. She says, can we go to a restaurant at the weekend? And I say, yes, we can. And we're there. We're barely there 2 minutes. And she's like, isn't it a lovely ambiance? And I say to her, I don't know what you're talking about. I've worked out what an ambiance is. It's a night out without poor people, isn't it, basically? It's people with a few quid to say, can we just have one night out without the poor people turning up? You know what they're like. They'll be banging spoons together, singing My Man's a Dustman, creating an atmosphere. We want an ambiance. So we try and enjoy the ambiance. But something's happened spoiling it for me. There's no tomato sauce on the table. Creating the situation when my wife looked at me, she said, you're going to ask for tomato sauce, aren't you? I said, yes, I am. Because I'm going to have the risotto. You can't eat risotto without red sauce, it's too dry. It's a health and safety issue. You've got to zhuzh it up with a bit of red sauce, right? So I thought, I'm not having it. I said to the waitress, excuse me, do you have any ketchup in the building? She's looked at me like I'm the worst pleb God has ever put breath in. She went off to the kitchen and I saw her making her way back with a pot about that big, about 2 chipfuls of tomato sauce. I thought, oh, here we go. She's tried to put it down and walk away like she's doing a drug deal or something. And I stopped her. I said, hold on, love, don't rush off. And I took a sip of it. And I looked at her, I said, yes, I'll have a bottle, please.
Thank you very much, Jiffy. Well done. And that point, first, to the Mickey Flanagan. Well done. Trust. Who wants to come in on that? Sean.
I get proud. I get guilty when I'm with a friend and he loses money in his house. This happened to me recently. My friend lost a £5. I thought, does he think? Does he think I've taken his £5? Is this what's happening? He thinks I've taken... I want to say I haven't taken his £5, but I don't want him to think that I'm guilty. And then I start thinking, hang on, have I taken his £5? Maybe I've taken his £5. Maybe I've put his £5 in my pocket. I want to check my pocket. I can't check my pocket. If he sees me checking my pocket, he's going to think I've nicked his £5. I want to go and hide and check my pocket. I can't hide and check my pocket. If I hide and check my pocket, he's definitely going to think I've nicked his £5. So I went into the bathroom. I found his £5. I couldn't go and give it to him. It would have looked like I got guilty, decided to give it back. I can't just leave it there. He's seen me go in. It's going to look like I planted it, so I just nicked it.
Well done, Sean. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is family. Who wants to come in on that? Greg.
All of my family are obsessed by the ageing process. Every single generation of us are obsessed by it at the moment. I'll just share this with you before I talk about other family members, just so I can get it off my chest. I was visiting my parents last week, and an old family friend came up to us in the street and said to my mum, "Hello, Pauline, how are you?" She said, "I'm all right, thanks, Kath, how are you?" And then she looked up at me and she said, "Hello, Bob, how are you?" Bob is my dad. He is 75 years of age. All of us are obsessed with it. All of us are obsessed with ageing in our family. Even my nan. My nan is doing her best to hold off the years. She puts a pound of face cream on every single morning, you know, and there's not a face cream on the market that works, ladies and gentlemen. I know that because of my nan, because she's a lovely woman, but she's religiously applied this stuff, and with the best will in the world, her face is ruined. I said to her, "You've spent all that time and all that money, Gran, and your face is no better than Grandad's." But he's dead. He died in the war. He got shot in the face. With a cannon.
OK. That leaves you with Milton. Let's see what you've been after. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is travel.
When I was young, my mum used to put food on a spoon and say, "There's a train coming, there's a train coming, there's a train coming." We'd always eat it because we knew that if we didn't, she wouldn't untie us from the railway line. I tried to get here by train today. They said, "Today there's a bus replacement service." So I gave them a tin of pineapple chunks. I said, "What's that?" I said, "That's my money replacement service." I didn't have any money because her friend nicked my £5. Thanks, that doesn't normally work. Anyway, I managed to borrow a car and I parked it up in Bus Lane. Last year I went on a ballooning holiday, put on 4 stone. The other day I bought one of those off-road vehicles, 3,000 quid, got it home, found out it was a canoe.
The first subject is health. Going to volunteer. Frankie.
Part of the side effect of the smoking ban in Scotland is that every pub, no matter how terrible or horrible, now has tables and chairs outside it. Basically, Glasgow looks like Paris after a nuclear war. People People say there's no such way as a good way to die, and those people have never heard the phrase drug-fueled sex heart attack. There's a great case in Scotland at the minute. A guy had a sex change, and he had everything chopped off, and then he decided that he wanted to change back, and they wouldn't let him. So he went to the European Court, and they said, OK, you can change back. Now he's changed his mind again. Wants to stay as he is. Typical woman.
Frankie Boyle. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is the West Country. Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, is it, do I like what's-its? It's phenomenal. Just wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that some... I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King of Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, we're left with Michael and Andy. Let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is North-South Divide. There goes Michael.
Right, yes. Now, I am from the south. Have you noticed? I have been north, up the M1, and I don't know what happens to the word the. It seems to disappear at about junction 25 on the M1, and the word the just goes, that's it from me, I'm getting off. You go on ahead. Are you coming with? No, I'm not interested up there. And then you get there and they don't have, they say, up to fridge, or you're going up to, what are you doing? My first experience of this was when I went to the cinema in Leeds. I saw The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had more fun asking the woman what it is I'd booked to see than watching the entire movie itself. So what is it I'm seeing here today? Took one, took witch and took one. What's he talking about? Are you hearing this? Are you taking toothpaste? Yes, of course. I thought it might be a nice idea maybe to go to HMV and get a DVD of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, maybe The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and perhaps an album by The, and just line them up on the counter. What is it I've decided to purchase here? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. Took good, took bad and took ugly. And took. Thank you.
Well done, Michael. OK, Andy, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's religion.
Looks like my dad. We should, of course, remember that there are 5 major world religions. 4 of them got to be wrong. Imagine that, right? You're on your last day, you're going off to meet your maker. The gods of the 5 major world religions lined up in front of you. You've chosen your god, you're happy with your god. You go up to your god and your god produces a little bit of cardboard bluff. That is going to hurt, isn't it?
Well done, Andy Parsons. At the end of that round, the points go to Michael and Frankie. Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Muscle top!
Why are we having this conference in Blackpool? 2 words. Cheap cocaine.
Jeremy Hunt is having a heart attack. Is there a doctor in the house? Why are you laughing?
So, we'll be having one speech from a Remainer, a speech from a Brexiteer, another speech from a Remainer, another speech from a Brexiteer, and then Boris Johnson will drop his trousers. So that's in, out, shake it all about.
What this conference has taught me is this party needs more women, because the hotel bar last night was an absolute sausage fest.
Welcome, delegates, to this year's Liberal Democrat Conference. Conference.
So to those who say we have alienated too many groups in society to get elected, let me say this. Fuck off.
I know some of you have been challenging my leadership, and to you I say, bring it on, you ball bags.
Some have said that the Labour Party has lost contact with its working-class roots. But I say to these people the same thing I said to my driver this morning. Do not address me directly.
So, now we've sorted out Brexit.
They told us Brexit was undeliverable. They told us Brexit was unworkable. But where are they now? They are outside with banners saying, I told you so.
Right, it's the Green Party conference, and now it's time to break for lunch. Who ordered the veal?
I'm afraid Rees Mogg can't be with us today. Someone hung garlic at the threshold and he can't pass through.
So everything is still on the table. Why has no one cleared the table?
It's incredible to think that some people think of us as a cult. Anyway, could you all just line up while Jeremy Corbyn chooses his wives?
Of course the Tories are like regular people. You should have seen us in the bar last night. Giles' wet nurse downed a whole bottle of port.
We have had soft Brexit. We have had hard Brexit, but now we have a more digestible alternative. Ready Brexit.
Subject is the West Country.
I'll say this.
Who? Russell.
How can you not love the West Country? I've genuinely seen graffiti in Bristol during the last Tory campaign. Do you remember, are you thinking what we're thinking? Somebody had written underneath it, is it, do I like what's-its? It's phenomenal. Just wonderful, isn't it? I used to live there. I've moved away from Bristol because I was near a dogging site, which is just a bit odd, right? And, all right, I wasn't into it. I was just near a dogging site, right? And I was talking to my friend. I was like, Jane, why do they do dogging near the house, right? And she looked and went, apparently you got really great views of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And you're like, well, you've got faith in humanity, haven't you? Just the idea that some... I tell you what, it's only when you're doing the nasty in a Cortina that you can truly appreciate the work of Isambard King of Brunei. That, my friend, is craftsmanship. Shall we? Wonderful.
Thank you very much, Russell. OK, we're left with Michael and Andy. Let's spin the wheel again. The next subject is North-South divide. There goes Michael.
Right, yes. Now, I am from the south. Have you noticed? I have been north up the M1, and I don't know what happens to the word the. It seems to disappear at about junction 25 on the M1, and the word the just goes, that's it from me, I'm getting off. You go on ahead. Are you coming with? No. no, I'm not interested up there. And then you get there and they don't have this up to fridge, or you're going up to... What are you doing? My first experience of this was when I went to the cinema in Leeds. I saw The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I had more fun asking the woman what it is I'd booked to see than watching the entire movie itself. So what is it I'm seeing here today? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. What's he talking about? Are you hearing this? Are you taking toothpaste? Yes, of course. I thought it might be a nice idea maybe to go to HMV and get a DVD of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, maybe The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and perhaps an album by The, and just line them up on the counter. What is it I've decided to purchase here? Took one, took witch and took wardrobe. Took good, took bad and took ugly. And took. Thank you.
Well done, Michael. Things you never hear at Christmas.
Yeah, I'll be chauffeuring Eamon all through December. That's right, I'm driving homes for Christmas.
Yes, that's right. It is plum pudding. And from my voice, you can probably work out whose plums are used.
Happy Christmas, you bunch of Muppets! Danny Dyer stars in A Muppets Christmas Carol.
My goodness, that's an enormous pile under the tree. When did you have it removed, Grandad?
Oh, we're under the mistletoe. I think you know what that means. I've locked us outside again, haven't I?
No, I love it when your parents come for Christmas. I just wish we couldn't hear them through the ceiling.
I can't believe there's this many needles under the tree already. We're really going to have to talk to Grandma about her heroin habit.
Wow, ABBA's greatest hits. Oh, no. It's a video of assassinations by PLO leader Mahmoud Abbas.
OK, Sharon, then. Right, OK. 2 words. OK, yeah, you're going to do the whole thing. OK, that... Right, it's the human centipede. Grandma, stop!
You there, boy! Tell me, what day is it? Why, sir, it's the first day of the DFS sofa sale.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way over to the performance area. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is questions that were rejected from this year's exams.
If the answer is 9, what is the question?
When you finish this exam, please will you turn your paper over and mark it?
Using Darwin's theory of evolution, explain Boris Johnson.
By the year 2015, the population of the Earth will have increased by 20%. How do we find Kerry Katona and stop her?
Complete the following sequence. 16, 35, 24, 8, 9. Now open the safe, grab the stuff and get in the getaway car.
If an object is travelling at 750 miles an hour, encounters resistance and slows to 0, for how many months will Richard Hammond have to wear nappies?
On the diagram below, show on the body where you like to be touched.
Describe Uranus without telling your parents.
Amy is 16. At least she said she was. How much trouble are you in?
Complete this crop rotation. Wheat, fallow, rock festival, BNP rally.
If everybody in Class A is called Tom, Thomas or Tommy, and every second boy in Class B is called Tim, Timothy or Timmy, what the fuck is going on?
Unlikely questions from this year's exams.
Discuss the metaphysical meaning of the following poem. My friend Billy has a 10-foot willy.
Would you like this exam to be A, multiple choice, or not?
The Bronte sisters. Shag, marry, push off a cliff.
Discuss the following. The Nazis got all their ideas from the History Channel.
Who was the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A?
If a bank loses £60 billion in a 6-month period, using numbers that you've plucked out of thin air, work out what the chief executive's bonus will be.
Napoleon, a small man or a long way away?
Quantify n in terms of q when q is a positive integer that dissects a parabolic curve. How's your lucky pencil case now?
What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
Draw a diagram of the genitalia of the male elephant. Use all 30 sheets of paper provided.
Biology. Without singing, what is the knee bone connected to?
Explain the use of juxtaposition in Macbeth. Alternatively, write down everything you know about Macbeth in a blind panic because you've got no idea what the word juxtaposition is.
Drama. Question 1. What was it that first made you want to become a waiter?
What is your PIN number?
OK, here we go. The first subject is rejected questions from this year's exams.
If sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C, what are the chances that you're ever going to use this in your sodding adult life?
According to Germany, how much is Greece worth? 1 mark.
Exam board of Zaragoza. Paint Jesus.
Jonathan is a Nigerian prince. What are your credit card details?
3 girls in this hall are pregnant. Who's the daddy?
Compare the following. A, the market. B, the meerkat.
Heat the crystals until they produce a vapour. Inhale. The exam seems easier now, doesn't it?
Without swearing, describe Peter Andre.
Mental arithmetic. Count up the voices in your head.
Using the paper provided, roll a joint and pass it round.
Does this look infected?
In the recent Olympics, Great Britain won 3 times as many gold medals as Australia. That's not a question, just a statement.
One Direction are incredibly popular. Explain.
Sport. How do you spell Akabusi? Is it A-K-B-U-C? Yes or no?
If Steve eats 2 apples, an orange and a banana, why is he such a fat fucker?
Questions omitted from this year's exams.
Using pie, distract the fat kid next to you so as you can copy his answers.
Using only the English language, write something.
History. Henry IV, Henry V, Henry VII. Which was the greatest Hoover the caretaker ever had?
Maths. Robert has 400 stamps. He'd like to put them in 12 different albums. He wants to have them equally in each album. How many friends does Robert have?
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Religious studies. If 2 men have been married for 10 years, for how long will they burn in hell for?
If the fluid has been flowing at 21 litres a minute for 15 minutes, what on earth is wrong with my bladder?
Fill your name at the top of the exam paper. If it's Tyler or Charmaine, get up, leave the school and never come back.
Using only the mass of the ass and the angle of the dangle, calculate the measure of the pleasure.
Yes. If a man travels 12 miles each day to buy a loaf of bread, how long before he realises that living in the countryside is shit?
Are multiple choice exams too easy? A, yes.
Optician's final exam. What do you think are the main causes of short-sightedness? And now? How about now? And now? What about now? And now?
Media studies, trick question 1. Name a business like show business.
Geography. What is to blame for climate change? A, the sunlight, B, the moonshine, C, the good times, or D, the boogie?
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a property show.
6 months in, and Mike has fallen out with the builder. There was no window there, and neither of them noticed.
With violence and strong language from the very beginning, it's a place in the Sunderland.
Yes, it is north-facing, but on the plus side, it's a caravan, so you can just turn it round.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. You should never leave a place in the sun.
We've just 1 hour while Gina's at the shops to improve her flat in Luton. We're setting it on fire and moving it to Oxford.
Well, it's another setback. This time the structure is damaged. And for the first time, I'm asking myself, will the Death Star ever be finished?
And more information on how to get together a deposit for a house can be found in our free leaflet, When Will Nana Die?
So, you bought it at auction for £100,000, but what exactly are you going to do with Middlesbrough?
Well, what we've done is we've knocked the wall between the kitchen and the lounge down, and what that's done is killed all the people who were sitting in the lounge.
The kitchen's done in a very modern style. We call it crack den.
We're looking at a well-equipped council house in Hull. Fridge, oven, washing machine. In fact, this is one of the nicest gardens we've seen.
This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification.
3 coats of varnish and a new rug, and Brucey is ready for his next show.
Welcome to the 74-hour-long obsessive-compulsive episode of How Clean Is Your House?
Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ivo, which category would you like?
I would like home news, please,
Lovely.
Dara.
Home news it is. The answer is 1 year. What is the question?
What would be an appropriate prison sentence for people who use the phrase hollybobs?
Not the answer, but I'll take it.
Is it how long the BBC have left now they've lost Bake Off?
And the clock is already ticking. Yeah.
Is it in a Wetherspoon's kitchen? What is the chef's equivalent of the 5-second rule?
Is it Southern Rail's estimate for a London to Brighton journey?
Do people kiss goodbye to their children at a Southern Rail station and go, you look after your mum?
Is it, how long does it take to earn £100 if you work at Sports Direct?
How long does it take a YouTube clip to buffer at my parents' house?
Is it... How long would Charles Manson have gotten in prison if he'd been a promising swimmer?
Yeah.
Bit of politics there.
How long does Jeremy Hunt want junior doctors to work per week?
OK, so under Theresa May's education reforms, how much of a carefree childhood will children now be allowed?
Is it how long would it take to rewatch all of Dara's TV appearances from the last month?
Thank you very much. If I make a joke about ISIS in the queue, how long will it take me to get through airport security?
OK, is that the correct answer?
I think. How long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party?
It is indeed. Thank you very much, you guys. Well done. Yes, the question I was looking for was for how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party, and will he stay as leader of the Labour Party?
He's not had a very successful year, has he? Really, he moves forward with all the dynamism, energy, and impetus of a canal boat. But his followers really believe in him, to the extent that at the party conference they've now told the caterers just to provide loaves and fishes.
Jeremy Corbyn has got the look of a man who can survive 6 months on 1 Kendal mint cake.
If it was a computer game, he would be the last character that you would choose.
But in terms they understand, what Pokemon is he?
I would say he's Lickitung. You know, just sort of, like, quite sluggish.
Yeah. I feel he's more Magikarp. A flapping fish, you know, needs a lot of candy to upgrade.
I feel like my nightmare has finally come true. It has happened. I am sitting here and I do not understand what you are talking about.
And in your nightmare, were you dressed as a member of Mumford & Sons? or one of the borrowers.
Shade at my waistcoat?
It's a little rural for you, that particular waistcoat. Have you come into some land?
Neither he or his challenger for the party leadership, Owen Smith, would make very good X-Men. Corbyn's superpower would be sitting in a corridor even though there are seats available. And Owen Smith's superpower would be if he walks into a room, no one knows who he is.
Because Owen Smith, he looks like God's tried to make the most boring-looking man he can, and halfway through he got bored.
OK, here we go. Let's have a look at the first topic. And the first subject is relationships. Ellie.
So I've got quite a close relationship with my sister, and she's got my little nephew, Henry, who is a prick. No, he is. Don't take his side. You haven't met him. Because before he came along, I was the youngest in the family. I was the baby of the family, which we all know is the socially acceptable way for saying favourite. A role I was born to play until my sister, Slaggy McSlaggerson, got herself knocked up by some dude she had barely been married to for 6 years. Suddenly it was all about her and the baby within. Now, initially, naively, I did actually get quite excited about the pregnancy, because I think especially from, like, a female point of view, you wouldn't be human if you didn't get excited about your sister putting on a lot of weight. Had a lot of fun with that. We did. I changed her ringtone to the sound of a large lorry reversing. Just sisterly banter, really. But the banter stopped when the baby came, because suddenly it was all about him. No one paid me any attention anymore. Like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, sort of a family dinner with a small child around. It's a nightmare. There's food being thrown, there's shit everywhere, there's tits hanging out. You name it, I tried it, still nothing. Thank you.
OK, go there. Very good. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been given us. Spin the wheel. And the topic is entertainment.
I'm reading a book at the moment. It's called The Anticlimax. The first part is good. I see Rihanna had to cancel a concert because she got salmonella. Ella. I also see that down by the Thames they're making another wheel, this time dedicated to Mary Poppins, called the London Diddle-Diddle-Diddle-Diddle-I. My grandmother, she got her scarf caught in one of those Ferris wheels, but she did regain consciousness. After all, what goes around... I was in a nativity play once. I was the man who scares the children because he comes into the hall on the wrong day to play badminton. Lionel Richie says hello, by the way. The other day, I saw a sheep pole dancing in a kebab shop.
Thank you very, very much. OK. Getting that round the point. Let's go back. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a news programme.
As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker.
According to statistics, the French economy is now the weakest growing of all the economies in Europe.
Sport now. All Manchester United fans, please look away.
You've reached Al Jazeera News, which means you're only 20 channels away from actually finding porn.
Here, you'll never guess who's dead.
Just time now to see what the papers say.
We will now attempt to talk to the survivors of the cliff fall. You all right, mate?
After the fire in the aromatherapy candle factory, the situation is now calm.
And now over to our foreign correspondent. Do you speak English?
Now it's time for the news near you.
Hello!
There are human remains on the blood-stained streets and the despair in the eyes of everyone you meet. Rob Beckett for BBC News, Magaluf.
There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory.
Now it's over to our toys and games correspondent, Natasha Kaplunksky.
And eventually the sun will go supernova, the earth will become dark and frozen, and everyone will die. That was the long-range weather forecast.
To my right, in my peripheral vision, Andy Parsons is showing us his penis. More on that as it unfolds.
We go over now to our vegan correspondent. I'm terribly sorry. He appears to have gone strawberry.
And David Cameron has delivered on all his promises to the Scottish people.
Just time for a quick look at tomorrow's papers. So the Times and the Telegraph lead with industrial strife, and in the Sun we can see that Caroline from Dagenham has got a terrific pair of norks.
Unlikely chat-up lines.
No, we've gone to Specsavers.
My name's Ed. What's it short for? Dunno, it's just always been like that.
You had me at hello, which is why most of my friends think I'm a bit of a slag.
Your father must have been a thief, and I'm going to catch him. If it's the last thing I do, your father's going to prison.
It's a loyalty card. Every 10 shags, I buy you a present.
Hey, are you a parking ticket? Because I picked you up on the street and now I can't afford to pay you.
Love is blind, and so am I. Now let me feel your face so I know you're not a munter. I'd say my approach to sex is a lot like the government's approach to Brexit. I go in hard and then pull out when I realise I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, so when you sit there seductively licking your lips, that's sexy. But when I do it, I'm weird and should get off your lips.
You look like $1 million. Less impressive than you would have done 10 years ago.
I like my men like I like women.
Hey, Hey, girl, you must be tired, because you look real tired. Get some rest, lady.
Well, I hope you're nothing like my ex-girlfriend. She was so demanding. Always asked me to text her when I got in. That's how small my penis is.
So do you come here often? To this STD clinic?
If I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together, which is why I was fired from my job as an English teacher.
Roses are red, violets are red, you're red, the sky is red, I'm bleeding in the eyes.
You've got an arse that just won't quit, despite calling an election and losing a majority.
You don't look like you did through the binoculars.
If I said you had a nice body, would you hold it against me while I cry on your shoulder? I'm so lonely, God, I'm so lonely.
On a first date, I always like to go Dutch. I don't mean I split the bill, but I'll do some really kinky stuff in clogs.
I like my women like I like my coffee. Always getting my name wrong.
If you were on an Indian menu, you would have 3 chilies next to you, because you make me shit myself.
Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference. Blackpool's nice, isn't it?
Unlike other party leaders I could mention, I am not a slave to the auto cue. Smile, pause, applause.
Would you please welcome the man who's made the Conservatives an electable force again, Gordon Brown!
I'm going to turn my back for 1 minute, and I want whoever stole David Blunkett's dog to put it back.
The delegates were so impressed by Ming Campbell's speech that they gave him a 10-minute standing cremation.
Kiss the baby. No, I'd better not. It might set my tag off.
Well, I must say, on this issue, I'm with Al-Qaeda.
So, for Scottish independence and cheaper parking, vote SNCP.
In an attempt to be more like Barack Obama, Gordon Brown has sensationally blacked up.
And I do believe we are the only party who are going to do anything about the amount of unemployed dwarves in this country. In fact, I saw one just outside holding a sign that said, "No job, too small."
We're going to open this BNP conference with a prayer, so if you'd all like to turn towards Mecca.